What's up, everyone? ODC here, and today's Joe Talk. I have the human mechanism here. Excuse me, I'm babbling over my word, stumbling over my own words here. But we have the human mechanism here, and he is a GI Joe based reviewer, and he also does a lot of BBI, Chat May, Leonard reviews as well. And he's here with us today. Thank you, sir, for taking time out of your day to come hang out and geek out about some GI Joes.
Ain't no problem. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Awesome. So why don't we just jump into the hysterics that have been the last week? Now, I don't read modern GI Joe comics. You don't as well. You're not. You said you're not a comic guy,
right?
But there has been some news going on. Strident wasn't able to jump in tonight. He had some other stuff going on, but and I did want to discuss this with him, with the three of us. But you and I we'll tackle this one. Aubrey Citizen. This guy has been a writer for IDW. Has been in the comic book market for around, I want to say, maybe around the span of about 20 years, if my research is correct. He did a lot of writing for WWE games, the 2K games, I believe, 2K14, 15. He's the majority of what his work is. He's a big wrestling guy, and now he's been writing for IDW. He's doing a new story arc, and if The big claim to fame with him now is, and this seems like it seems to be like the modern day thing with most people. It's like the only way you get your name out there is if you say something controversial or you do something controversial. But have you read his quotes?
No, I haven't. I'm sort of new to this whole situation. Was he fired? Is that what I've heard, or did he quit?
You know what? I honestly, I don't know. The last statement that I saw was that IDW was going to look into it further. But initially, IDW was discussing, they sent out an initial thing saying that he's allowed to say whatever he wants. It's freedom of speech, blah, 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 blah. And then after the backlash happened, then they went full blown covering their ass mode, basically. They were like, we don't condone this, blah, 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 blah. You know, the PR section took over for IDW to try and save some face because people were going to protest buying their books. And, you know, G.I. Joe, and maybe you think this the same way, along the same lines, but growing up, I always thought G.I. Joe was this, like a big thing, and there's tons of people in it. But now it seems modern day G.I. Joe fans have really dwindled in numbers, and it's becoming more of a niche market. I don't know. Do you agree with that, or?
I think so. I think that's solely because of the fact that we're not seeing much from Hasbro anymore.
Yeah,
it's really kind of a sad state of affairs that, you know, the Joe fan base is sort of in at the moment.
Yeah. It's a shame that we're not getting anything for 2 years now, which is. Let's just go to his posts. It is a damn shame that we're not getting anything for 2 years. I mean, I'll be honest with you. With the recent events or the recent occurrences that. Toys R Us is going bankrupt. That does not look good for Mattel. It does not look good for Hasbro. A lot of other toy lines that are, you know, dependent upon Chat May.
Right.
Big one. Wave goodbye to True Heroes if Toys R Us goes under. So that's going to suck. I mean, there have been other companies that have gone bankrupt that have strived and survived through it, but and hopefully Toys R Us, you know, goes through it. But Toys R Us also needs to realize that they need to bring their prices down a little bit,
right?
Because they have been getting up there. Even some of the Chat May products I've noticed have gone up in price a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, that's why I'm not really digging the new Star Wars stuff because, as I said in a previous podcast, I recently bought the A-Wing. The quality is nice, but I don't think I want to dish out $30 for it.
Yeah, it's entirely too much. It's way too highly priced.
Right.
Because I went Force Friday. It was like one of the few times I ever went to a Force. What was this? The second Force Friday. I didn't go to the first one, and I wasn't actually planning on going to this one, but I wanted to at least get a couple. I wanted to get Thrawn and a couple other characters. And I saw all of the 3 3/4 inch stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I'll get an A-Wing. Great." I saw $30, and I was just like you. No, thank you. I'll wipe my hands of that. What was it? There's a couple other vehicles like I was interested in, like Kylo's TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter. Yeah, that looks interesting, but do you really want to dish out $40 for it?
That's a lot.
Asking so much. And
it comes with a 5 points of articulation figure. Like, it's not like I don't understand why in 2017 we're still being given 5 points of articulation.
Yeah, and they actually had more in the past, didn't they? They actually had more points of articulation.
Yeah, they had the 30th anniversary line. They had the vintage collection line, which are bringing back finally, which they should have never gotten rid of.
Yeah,
but that was due to the Black Series coming of age. But yeah, it's a shame that the prices just keep going up and up and up and up and up, and it's like we're talking 3 3/4 inch figures, guys. Come on, I've seen G.I. Joe sets with a Sky Striker and a tank that go for $40. Remember those, the 50th anniversary ones? It's like, how can you justify one 5 points of articulation figure and one small vehicle for $40? It just does not work for me. So
it's absolutely ridiculous.
It is. Okay, so let me get to these posts. I don't want to go too off topic here okay, here we go. I'm going to screen share really quick, and then and I'm just bringing this up so you can see it for the first time because it's very ignorant of him what he said. And it's just unnecessary. It's kind of this hey guy, you're wearing a G.I. Joe t-shirt, but you've never actually read a G.I. Joe comic in your life. It's that kind of mentality in this statement here. It's what is this guy? Is this guy going through a midlife crisis or something?
Yeah, screw this guy.
Well, I don't understand how you say, oh, God, it's self-centered national tragedy remembrance from people who weren't even near New York City Day. I mean, the amount of stupidity that's gone through this guy's head is equal to none other. It's just just because you don't live in New York City, and I've noticed my sister lived in New York City for 7 years, long story short. And I used to go visit her almost every other month when I was younger, and I could afford it. But I would go visit her all the time, and, it was basically like my sister was a New Yorker now, and she lived there for 7 years straight. I would visit her all the time, and she wasn't that far away. She was about 5 blocks away from 9/11. She, was impacted by it in a way, but that doesn't mean necessarily that just because you're not from New York that you're not considered, a New Yorker. Like we're from Buffalo, New York. We live in the same state, but that doesn't matter. I mean, tons of people's lives were affected due to 9/11, and it's a show of respect to remember that tragedy. I mean, it's the same thing that we have a Remembrance Day for Pearl Harbor or any other national tragedy that's happened. The first New York City bombing, the World Trade Center bombing. Remember that from the 90s, and it's just I don't understand what is going on through this guy's head. I mean, tons of family members live in New York City, and they have family members that live out of state. And that affected millions of people. 6,000 people died in that tragedy. And you're going to sit here and say that, oh, because you were in the general vicinity, that you should have better say over remembrance of 9/11 than anyone else? Who the hell do you think you are?
Oh man, I'm face palming. You know,
Yeah,
face
it's
palming. Um,
it's just so stupid.
yeah, I sort of had a skimming over this whole Aubrey Sitterson situation. Didn't really look into it, but now that I read that post, I can definitely see why he's getting all that shit.
Yeah, I mean it's atrocious. And you had General Joe's on here regarding replying to this guy. You had Cujo from GI Joeberg replying to this guy saying,
Yeah,
like what the hell are you thinking?
it's like
Like,
what brings someone to say something so callous?
and then on top of this, he tried to save face and say, well, he told IDW, and IDW stated that, oh, it wasn't meant to come off a certain way. But the post after this basically said, oh, I'm going to get flack for this. I'm generalizing what he said. He said, oh, I'm going to get flack for this, but F you to all of you who don't agree with what I said. And it's like, you can't save face from telling everyone to go F themselves. That's not how you save face.
Yeah, he's only digging himself a deeper hole.
Exactly, and it only got worse and worse and worse with the posts. There's actually there's a guy on Facebook that did a whole video on this, and it actually he explains everything down to a T as to what actually happened. And his name is Diversity in Comics.
Mm-hmm.
He did a whole video on this guy, and he has a better understanding of I think who this person is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a really dumb situation, and people are calling for this guy's head, and I don't blame him.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are saying, well, he's got the freedom of speech. Yes, you're right, he does. But just because he's got that right does not mean that he has to say it.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it's not going to affect his profession, because he represents the company that he works for, even though it's on his own private account. That means absolutely nothing. It would be no different from an NFL player screwing up and getting into a bar fight off of the clock, and it's still being affected in his work duties. He can still get banned, he can still get fired, he can still get suspended, whatever. What you say and what you do in social media and on the internet affects you. It does. It affects your profession as well. So that is what I think. Well, let me know. Let me just get this off the screen here, because I don't want to even stare at it anymore.
Yeah. There's really no words. I mean, it's pretty much speaks for itself. I mean, what can you say to that other than just pure ignorance?
Exactly. That's what it is. It's and this guy's a socialist, which I don't want to get into politics, but
yeah.
I'm not going to get into all that, because that's not what we're here to talk about. But because I'm not a very political person, I'll tell you that right off the bat. But maybe you guys, the guy writing for GI Joe shouldn't be saying things negatively, calling other people out for 9/11.
Right.
GI Joe is a patriotic.
Yeah, I was gonna say
brand, and you're gonna tell people F you because they want to remember 9/11?
Yeah, where 3,000 people died. I mean,
get him out of here. Get him out. I want him out. I want him out. I want him out of here. He doesn't deserve to have that job. His writing sucks anyway. I mean, he just wrote what was it? He rewrote Salvo as this, and I'm all for diversity in comics and equal opportunity for characters, different genders and stuff like that. But he's got an overweight woman as Salvo now. How can you have an overweight anything in G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be the elite of the elite, top physical form. It doesn't make any sense. It's like having a fat Batman.
That's counterintuitive.
Exactly. Makes no sense. So,
it's I don't want to delve too much into politics either, but being edgy seems to be that new type of thing on the internet nowadays, and I think that's just the wave he's riding at the moment.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like I said earlier, it's basically say something to get noticed.
Right.
And hopefully it takes off from there. But yeah, it's not a good thing, and I hope IDW realizes what they're doing, and I hope they realize the right thing to do here, which is get this guy the hell out of here, and let's hire someone that's not just got his own agenda. Hopefully, he's got G.I. Joe on his mind and not his own political views.
Yep.
And just writing things for the sake of writing them. But I digress. Let's not talk about that anymore. That's friggin' depressing. And, so I do. In case you guys don't know who the Human Mechanism is, he's got a great channel. Go check him out, please. He does a lot of really great reviews on a lot of secondary market stuff. You do some G.I. Joe stuff too, right?
Yep.
Yep. You do some G.I. Joe stuff too. What have you gotten any recent pickups lately?
Let's see. The most recent one was the U-53. But after that, the True Heroes line sort of flattened out. They sort of have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not really interested in. Mostly, I'm sort of committed to working on customs at the moment.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
One I'm working on right now. I have it right next to me. It's a TPZ-1 Fuchs armored personnel carrier.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, took the M2 Browning off a Elite Force M1A2.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, so still working on that one. Let's see what else. Other than that, not really. Can't say I've picked up too much. After the U-53, it's sort of things have sort of quieted down in my area. So planning on picking up some more Star Wars stuff once the prices go down.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at with a lot of the I did pick up what I picked up from Force Friday, but those figures were only $18 each, so I didn't have that. I thought that was a reasonable price. I just can't fathom some stores selling them for $24.99 now. And I'm just like, what is going on? When did this occur? Right. But I got the hookup from one of my buddies that lives in New York City. He ended up going to HasCon and he grabbed me a Captain Rex. So that I just did that review. That's up. Cheap plug right there. Sorry. But so that's a really cool figure. If you guys do have a chance to pick it up, I believe he's going on sale on HasbroToyShop.com the 20th. I'm not sure what time. They're pretty random with the times that they put the stuff up, like as far as exclusives go, But he will be up on sale. So if you guys wanted to pick that up, or if you, sir, were interested in picking that up, he's definitely an awesome figure. He's great. Yeah, Black Series. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah.
There's not too much. Unfortunately, there's not too much Black Series stuff in my area. The coolest thing they have is the ATST, which is a new release. But since I already have an ATSD from the vintage collection, I'm not too much.
That's the better one to have, actually.
Right.
I have the Black Series one and the vintage collection one, and I'm not you could tell that the Black Series one, they got cheaper with the cost and stuff like that. Some people were complaining that it couldn't stand, but I got mine to stand no problem. Not sure what was going on there, but
the limbs on mine have sort of degraded over time, but not too upset about that. So anyways.
Yes. So anyway, what would you say is one of your favorite? If you could pick a vehicle and a figure, what would be your two?
Oh, that's a really, really hard question.
I know.
There's a lot of really cool figures and vehicles from different lines, but I would say the best one would have to be I would say the Vamp Mark II from the Pursuit of Cobra line.
Yes, I love it.
Oh, Pursuit of Cobra. I meant 30th anniversary. Because it resembles the original Vamp in many ways in terms of color scheme, but at the same time, it's it's an upgraded version of it. So and it's very versatile. I like what they did with the Pursuit of Cobra line, in which you can swap weapons from different vehicles, and so yeah, I would definitely say the Vamp Mark II.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'll make it easier on you since we're talking Pursuit of Cobra, and it's by far my favorite line that GI Joe's ever produced. Why don't we just stick in with Pursuit of Cobra? We'll talk some Pursuit of Cobra.
Sure.
And well, 30th anniversary Pursuit of Cobra. It's kind of like
there's a lot of match there.
Yeah. One of my favorites. Well, actually, let's get your favorite. Let's get yours. As far as Pursuit of Cobra figures go.
Unfortunately I don't have too many Pursuit of Cobra figures. I have a lot of vehicles though. I definitely say the Alley Viper, but if I had the Shock Trooper, that would probably be my favorite because he has that riot shield. I could definitely do a lot of things with that. So that would probably be my favorite, but I'd probably say the Alley Viper for the moment.
Yeah, Alley Viper is awesome. It was a really nice. They did a really good job. Hasbro did a really good job, kind of revitalizing and redecoing the Alley Viper from the 25th anniversary one. Yep. Not that there's anything wrong with the 25th anniversary one, but it was a much needed, more realistic update, a more modern update, I should say, for him instead of orange and what was it, purple or blue. But yeah, I always use that Alley Viper as my one Alley Viper because a lot of people like to army build him, but I like to have him as my Shock Trooper commander. Like so he's got like the upgraded riot shield and armor and stuff like that. But that's what I like to think of with him. But recently I have just acquired, and not for an absorbent amount of price, excuse me. But I picked up Sci-Fi from the 30th anniversary line.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's this is by far one of my favorite figures that has been eluding me for quite some time, and I actually ended up getting him for $30 instead of what was it, 50 or 40 to 50, which is crazy. So I picked him up. I'm gonna probably shoot a full review on him soon, but he's one of my favorites. He's one of the best as far as the 30th anniversary line. One of the best. Stalker's another really good one too. I really like that Stalker figure. But
that was the Predator looking guy, right?
Stalker? Oh no, that was Shadow Tracker.
Oh yes. Get my figures mixed up sometimes.
Yeah, it's okay. So outside of G.I. Joe, let's talk how long have you been collecting in general, outside of G.I. Joe? Let's say like Chap May and Leonard and
I would say I've been collecting all my life. I would say it all started back in the 90s when it was the 20th anniversary of Star Wars.
Okay.
I think that's when I really started collecting action figures. And I was really young back then. Really, really young. I would say G.I. Joe was the second line that I actually actively began pursuing. And so it's pretty much been nonstop since then. So yeah.
That's awesome. So well, I mean, we can shoot the shit about some Star Wars for a little while. I got no problem with that. I mean, we're just shooting from the hip here anyways. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, because I haven't talked Star Wars in quite some time, but what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
The original trilogy.
Yeah.
It's the original trilogy. Let's see. The prequels were okay. I'm not one of those guys who thinks that they were just terrible. They were okay.
Me too. I'm the same way.
Yeah. But if I were to nail it down when it came to a Star Wars movie, I would definitely say this Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's an answer everyone usually gives.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it. I mean, it was a totally different look from the other two movies. So mine was always Return. That was the first one I saw. It kind of stuck with me. And that's how I was introduced to Luke Skywalker. He's my favorite character, pretty much. Him and Darth Maul are my two favorite characters. And really, Darth Maul, I mean, even outside of Episode 1, it really the Clone Wars really grabbed me with that character, and it really expanded more upon his character. And I mean, he's kind of a he's kind of a badass, but then yet still kind of a coward.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of got that dimension going for him. But that's a villain for you. I mean, that's what parts of that's what villains are supposed to be like. You know what I mean? They're supposed to have that little bit of coward in them as well. Yeah, I mean that's how I was introduced to Luke. The first scene I saw was when he entered Jabba's palace and was tricked into being dropped into the Rancor pit, and that was the first scene I think I ever remember seeing was him fighting the Rancor. And then I was like, this guy's awesome. He just killed a Rancor.
Yeah, the scene that really stuck out for me in Empire Strikes Back was that opening battle on Hoth.
Just, so epic, so cool. Did you play any? Do you play any of the video games? Did you play Battlefront?
The last one I played was the original Battlefront.
Okay.
I played a little bit of Battlefront 2, but other than that, sort of iffy on Star Wars video games.
Yeah, I don't blame you. You know what? Battlefront, the new one that came out a few years ago, was it kind of a big letdown? I mean, I still had fun playing it. I played it a lot, but it was because we didn't really have anything besides the other Battlefront games that were actually really good. And KOTOR and SWTOR. So, but that was pretty much it. And those were MMOs basically. But still great games. I love Knights of the Old Republic. Was it? It seems like the new one, Rogue Squadron, or what is it called?
The movie?
No, the new game coming out. There's a new Battlefront coming out, and it's actually going to have a story mode, and it's actually got more of the feel of the original Battlefront games. So it's kind of enticing, but I want to wait a little bit after the release and see actually how it is, because if it really is like the old Battlefronts, then I'll consider picking it up. But
yeah, I haven't heard much about any Star Wars video game news. Been sort of out of touch lately.
Oh, that's it's life has a tendency to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It does. But what's up, everybody in chat? What's up?
Hey,
what's up, chat?
Can't see you, but hey.
Yes, hello. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. We'll talk a little bit more Star Wars. And what's your favorite Star Wars character?
Another hard question.
All right, I'll make it easier. In the original trilogy.
Oh, the original trilogy. I would say Darth Vader.
Okay, Vader.
Darth Vader. I've been really looking at getting that Darth Vader and what is it? The reconnaissance droid set.
Yep.
I don't know what it's called. But again, don't want to spend $20 on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I don't blame you on that one.
Yeah.
Hopefully with the vintage line coming back, the 3 3/4 inch vintage line, the prices won't be too crazy. I'm hoping for around the $11 to $12 range and nothing higher. But I'm starting to get weary of this because the Black Series 3 3/4 inch figures were they're $16, something like that, $17, which is like, what's going on? No, these are $10 $11 figures. But so yeah, Vader's cool, and hopefully we get some good vintage figures. That would be cool. It's nice to see 3 3/4 inch figures sticking around, and hopefully they get rid of the 5 points of articulation.
Yeah.
But
if it's expensive, I mean, I always naturally go to eBay to see what they have. but they're always selling it for they're always selling these Star Wars vehicles for over $100.
Hmm.
It's ridiculous. It's like there's nowhere to go to get reasonably priced vehicles anymore.
No, everything is the same thing because once one person puts it up for $150, and the next person's gonna be like, "Well, if he's gonna try and sell it for $150, I'm gonna try and sell it for $140."
Right,
You know
and
what I mean?
and it's sort of off topic. I was looking at some Power Team Elite vehicles on eBay. Um, I saw an SU-27 for going for $699.
Yeah,
Who in their right mind is going to pay for that?
nobody.
Nobody's going to pay for that.
Nobody. And this is what I always tell myself when I see sellers like that. It's like those sellers must have no intention on selling that item.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, that's exactly what I'm thinking. No intention of selling it.
No intention of selling it unless someone pays $600.
Yeah.
That's the only way that they'll be able to let it go is if it goes for that price. But yeah, it's ridiculous. And why don't we stick with that topic for a while? Because I've noticed a ton of BBI figures going for very high prices.
Oh yeah, there's always people selling those for extravagant amounts of money.
Even the World Peacekeepers,
right?
Tons of money.
Mm-hmm.
They want some of the planes to go. They're going for around $200, which is
right.
Come on.
It's like they're not supposed to be that expensive.
No, they're being sold at friggin' Big Lots. Come on.
Right.
It's a discount chain.
Right. I mean, have you seen that Fast Attack vehicle that they have? Power Team Elite. It's sort of has that big machine gun on top of it. People are selling that for like what?
Oh, the Humvee?
Not the Humvee. It's a Chinese Fast Attack vehicle.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, it has like that big machine gun on top of it that spins. Not doing the best job of describing it, but you'll probably see it. Well, anyways, people are selling that for like $40, which is not as unreasonable.
Still, though, this right here.
No. Well, it's not that one. It's I think you typed in BBI.
Oh, did I? Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. What was it? World Peacekeepers?
Yep. It's like I saw that at Big Lots for like $15.
I put World Peacekeepers.
Yeah, it's
this. Come on, that's
$40.
Like
$40 for that.
That's like $14 item right there.
Right. It's like $15 at Big Lots. It's just like, just go to Big Lots, pick it up.
Yeah, no, that's not happening for 40. That's crazy. Wow. I wonder if this hitch works?
Yeah, it does.
Working. It does. That's cool.
Yep. It's one of my favorite vehicles. It's very, very detailed.
Wow. Yeah, it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not it. Yeah, it looks cool, but no.
Yeah, definitely. Save that money.
Yeah, exactly. It's like money. For $40, you can get a Vamp Mark II from Pursuit of Cobra 30th anniversary.
Yep. But you know what? One thing go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you're good.
One thing I'm really looking for, if you go to like on the right side of the page, I'm looking for that missile truck.
Oh, this right here?
Yes.
That looks cool.
Yeah, it's nowhere to be found. You can only get it online as far as I'm concerned.
Boo. Yeah, I tried to buy something from World Peacekeepers once on their online. It's the strangest setup that they have going on.
Right.
You can actually buy from them. But when you go to their website, and you probably already know this.
I visited their website a couple times, but I have some weird feelings about it. I feel kind of suspicious a little bit.
Yeah, me too. And I was like, they have it available, but this is weird. They're like, they have to like send you a quote, like, and it takes like 3 days for them to send you like a quote. And I'm like, wait, what?
That's weird.
They're like, we'll get back to you within the week. And I'm like, within the week?
Oh man.
Why is your store like this? But I mean, I get it. They can't just, I guess they can't, because I'm still looking for this. I want this. I want the J10.
J10.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, good luck trying to find this for a reasonable price. This thing goes for like $250.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
I was lucky enough to get this for $40. Probably have to
hold on. Let me stop sharing so everybody can see. Oh, you got that's like the Ghost Striker basically.
essentially, yeah. But one thing that I think people really look for is the SU-27. Let me put that back on. Let's see here. Yeah, if I'm renovating this, I actually bought this customized.
Oh wow, that looks great.
Yeah, it's.
Did you do what? Are those the? Did you do those paint apps on it?
Oh no, it's the person who did the paint applications. He has a YouTube account. I don't know his name. I'm trying to. His name skips my mind.
Okay.
But yeah, he does a lot of custom work.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that looks great.
I bought this from Customized and planning on renovating it. There's a couple of scuffs on it, but yeah. But yeah, ridiculous. Just ridiculous the amount of money we have to dish out for Power Team Elite.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which is supposed to be a cheaper alternative to the Joes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to like fill the gaps where G.I. Joe did not give you product. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because there's, I mean, as much as now, maybe Strident and I are sitting on an island of our own, and but I want to know what your thoughts are on this. I've had so many discussions / arguments with Joe fans and Joe collectors that I don't think the Sky Striker is that great of a vehicle. I really don't. It doesn't really do anything besides sit there and incorrectly.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that, and that's pretty much because we've seen too much of that damn thing.
Yeah,
it's 2 years.
It's like a pimple on prom night; it just keeps popping back up. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Just for the record, I absolutely hate the color scheme on the original Sky Striker. I just think the white is just terrible. But yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from. I don't like the fact that, this is a common complaint. I don't like the fact that, the wings have to be splayed out when you have the landing gear down. It just takes up space. I like the Sky Striker, but I do agree with you.
I like it, but it's because, and I think this kind of contributes to why I don't really, that plane just annoys me now, is that everyone just dick rides it all the time. They're like, what's your best vehicle of all time from G.I. Joe line? And I'll see on all these G.I. Joe fan pages, the Sky Striker, the Sky Striker, the Sky Striker. That's like, guys, there's all these other planes. And what was it? I posted, and on my post, I posted the Thunderwing. And I got like at least 18 replies of, what the hell is that? Where's that from?
It's like, right. Nobody knows about it because the Sky Striker has buried it.
Exactly. Like, what the hell? How are you a G.I. Joe collector and you don't know about the Thunderwing?
Right. And you know what? It's kind of sad that the Thunderwing gets no attention because it's everything the Sky Strike, the 50th, or what is it, the 30th anniversary Sky Striker should have been.
Yes.
It's stealth. It's a 2-seater. It has plenty of features. It's just everything the 30th Sky Striker should have been.
Exactly.
I mean, the 30th Sky Striker, I like it, but I admit it's a bit of a downgrade from the original.
Yes, it is.
It's a total downgrade.
It is. I mean, you're telling me that Hasbro couldn't retool so you could get 2 figures in there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. It's not that hard to retool, repurpose a cockpit to get 2 figures in there when really the modern figures aren't that much taller than the vintage ones because most of my modern figures fit in vintage vehicles. They fit in the Thunderclap. They fit in the Rolling Thunder. They fit in the Vamp, the old Vamps. They fit in the Moray, the Hydrofoil. They fit in a lot of these older vehicles. So why couldn't you just find some way to fit a little bit more room in there so you could put 2 modern figures in there? I don't know. It just came off very lazy to me.
Yeah.
A lot of people really blow their load on the fact that it's got sculpted detail inside the cockpit and blah, blah, blah. It's got paint apps and stuff. Don't get caught up in the hype. You know what I mean? Just because it's sculpted, it's taking away from the fact that it should be a 2-seater.
Mm-hmm.
It should be. And that's the long and short of it. I mean, I would even take less sculpted detail and just put 2 seats in there so I could fit 2 figures in there. So it looks proper.
Right.
You know? The canopy is terrible on the modern ones. They're awful. It's cheap crap plastic. It's just not built.
Right.
It's like when you pick up the Thunderwing or you pick up the Ghost Striker, you feel that it's like, this is a durable toy.
Right.
When I pick up the Sky Striker, I feel like it's kind of brittle, and if it fell out of my hand, it might crack.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Whenever I'm holding, I have an 83 Sky Striker back there, and I can definitely feel the difference in quality. Definitely. There's no question about that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is just a minor note. I don't like the way the pilot sits in the cockpit at all. Just the way
he's like laying down.
Yeah, he's like practically laying down, and he's like situated all the way towards the back.
Yeah, but that makes no sense. It's like they took all that room that was left over, and they were just like, well, how are we going to fit him in here? How are we going to seat him? Well, let's lay him down, because that makes no sense at all.
Oh man, bro.
Yeah. Oh, Hasbro. Just when you do something good and then you do something stupid right after that, you know what I mean? It's like, God. But yeah, what was it? I'd like to, I'd like to stay on this topic. I'd like to talk about things that most Joe collectors don't know about, like Cobra Island. People don't know that Cobra Island exists. You know what I mean? Like that. I just saw it at, I went to go visit Strident in Columbus, and we went to a toy show. We went to the Columbus Toy Show and Gaming. And there was a Grizzly right there. That's another tank nobody talks about, really.
Yeah.
The Grizzly it's huge. It's probably like this big.
And I think G.I. Joe fan 1976. Do you know him?
Oh, yeah.
I think he said it the best, in that it's practically a playset. It's essentially a playset. It's massive, and I think I have it. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, it's giant. It's gigantic.
Yeah, it's larger than you think. Like, he's holding it in his hand, and it's almost like it's not doing it justice. Like it's a big, it's almost like a play set, and it's got features and it's got weight to it, and I think it kicks the crap out of the Mauler, or the Mauler, or the Mobat, and the Mobat to me is, I don't know, it's not that great of a tank. I mean, sure, it's motorized, it can roll, but it doesn't really roll that well. It doesn't climb that well.
Yeah.
It's essentially a one-seater tank.
Yeah, and it's not true like 118 scale. I mean, that's the thing about G.I. Joe, is that it sort of hovers around the periphery of 118 and 116.
Yeah.
But like, this is probably just because I have like OCD. But there's like molded details on it that give me the impression that it's like made for smaller figures. I mean, if you look on like the top of the hull, there's like really small molded hatches for crew members, not suitable for 3 3/4 inch figures, and that's just it's sort of a pet peeve of mine when you see stuff like that. So I like the Mobat. I'm sort of in the same situation when it came to the Sky Striker, which it has sentimental value, but
exactly. I'm in the same exact boat. It does have sentimental value because it was part of our childhood, but when you compare it to its predecessors, or it's the later models or the newer models or the modern stuff, it doesn't hold up. I mean, it had its place. It was good for the time, and it's outdated. That just happens. I mean, the F-14's not, the F-14 Tomcat's not even, they don't even use it anymore. So why are we still on this thing?
Yeah.
It's decommissioned. It's been decommissioned for years.
Yeah, the Joe team needs some F-35s, no doubt.
Exactly.
Needs some F-35s.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Precisely. Yeah. I mean, even the F-22 is outdated. You know what I mean? That was the whole thing of the secrets were leaked and blah 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 and all that. But but yeah, I mean, even that's outdated, and that's a fantastic plane. You know, if they came out with an F-35, that shit would be sitting on my shelf. But we don't have that, so that's why we have to resort to BBI and World Peacekeepers and sublines. So
yeah. Speaking of which, that F-22 from True Heroes, it's hard to find. It's very hard to come by.
The plane?
The F-22 from True Heroes.
Yeah. Oh, really? Because I have, what was it? There's a couple locally that I have.
Yeah, I've been trying to. The only place I found them is eBay. At least
really, not even on ToysRUs.com.
Nope. Oh, they have them on ToysRUs.com.
Yeah, they should. Absolutely.
I'd be all over that.
Oh yeah, they definitely have it on ToysRUs.com. I know. I'll look it up right now. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm looking for F-22s to customize.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, you can. I mean, it does. It does what it needs to do. Poor Toys R Us. I really hope Toys R Us doesn't go out of business.
That would be a shame.
Yes.
Because the only other place that has True Hero stuff in my area is Kmart, and that's miles away from where I live.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, it should be here. I'm pretty sure the last time I looked up. Come on, there it is, right there.
The F-22.
Yeah, the True Hawk.
I was talking about the F-22 Raptor.
Oh, well, for True Heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the True Hawk. I'm sorry.
That looks cool though.
It is. It's a cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's even got an ejection seat in there. The figure actually comes with a parachute that you can fold up. It's pretty much Sky Striker territory.
Yeah, I don't know what's been stopping me. I've really wanted to get that ever since I've seen. Yeah, go ahead.
It's definitely a great plane. Like even the gimmick with the lights and sounds and stuff, and the projectile. I'm searching for the word, but it's slipping my vocabulary right now. The projection, basically the projection of the target on the wall. It's cool because you can just disassemble this basically via clip. And so if you don't want the ugly handle hanging there, you can take it off, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you can definitely see where is that Chat May?
Yeah, that's Chat May. Yeah.
Because the True Heroes line has a whole bunch of they take elements from different toy lines and sort of mix them together. But yeah, you can definitely see where they took inspiration from G.I. Joe. It's just overall it's a body of a Sky Striker, but they took elements from the what is it, the Ghost Striker X-16?
Yep, pretty much. Yep. Pretty much. Yeah, and it's just definitely a solid. I mean, if you want to use this for Cobra, there's your Cobra plane right there. I mean, we all know that Cobra has a lack of aerial assault via. I don't know why G.I. Joe Hasbro did that, but you ever notice the brutal imbalance that G.I. Joe has as far as an aerial assault over Cobra?
Yep.
I mean, they have the Mamba and they have a couple vehicles, but really, compared to what Joe has, they're outmatched.
Yeah, they have the Rattler, but that's based on the A10 and
exactly.
Like using a ground attack aircraft to take out a Sky Striker just seems
no bueno. No bueno at all. Okay, so this is the one that you're talking about. I didn't even know this existed. Oh wow, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, it's cheaply made, but it's good for customizing.
Yeah. No, they don't have this on their site. I'm sorry. I was confusing the two.
No.
Sorry. Yeah, they don't. This is an old one, but you know what? I wouldn't put it past True Heroes and Chat May to bring this back because they have brought back older sets like that. What was it? That SWAT team set I just got. What was it? That also I think. What was there? There's another set that they brought back too. I think it might have been there was a boat that they brought back. I can't remember which one specifically, but they they are known for bringing those back, so that's pretty cool. So hopefully, maybe one day they'll bring the F-22 back.
Yeah,
but yeah, I know what you're talking about because I was actually looking for this version of the F-22 as well. Do you know if it's a 2-seater or not? Or
no, it's not. I actually have 2 of them. There's actually 2 versions of it. There's one that has a smaller cockpit, but it's more detailed. And there's another one that has a bigger cockpit with less detail. So it really depends on what you want.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a specific one, you're going to have to, look, examine the photographs, whether you're looking on eBay or Amazon.
I'm guessing this was the other version. This one right here, maybe the all black one.
There was different colors and different molds. There was like a jungle version, which I just thought was ridiculous.
You know what I would like to see from True Heroes or even BBI? A nice stealth. Give me a properly sized stealth. We haven't gotten one of those yet.
F-35 is the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's comparatively small. So yeah, I mean, I can't think of a better aircraft than the F-35 to bring into 1/18 scale.
Exactly.
Hell, if True Heroes were to release just a cheapo plastic F-35, I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
I'd be all over.
Why the hell not? I mean, it would have to have because what the engine? Oh no, that's not the F-35. I'm thinking of what's it called? The one from Live Free, Die Hard, where the engine was basically could point downward, I believe.
Oh, that was the F-35.
Was it? Okay, it is the F-35. Okay.
It was there's 3 variants of the F-35, the A, the B, and the C. The B can vertical takeoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. This one. Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that is so cool.
I would kill to have a 1/18 scale F-35.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, I mean it needs to happen. You know what the just the front portion right here where the vents are right here, or not the vents, I should say the intake right here. It kind of looks like the Thunderwing a little bit.
It does.
Not a whole lot, but a little bit right here where the intakes are. But yeah, this would be a fantastic vehicle. If Hasbro ever got their head out of the rear ends, they should think about doing that. But had firmly planted up rear end for the next 2 years.
Yep. And that's one hell of a marketing campaign. No merchandise for the next 2 years.
Yeah, it's really gonna sell things for them. Well. Yeah. But they're riding the hype of Star Wars right now, so that's their priority. They're going after the cash cow. They got the cash cow, and now that they're riding that wavelength, they don't. We don't need the redheaded stepchild anymore. Get out of here, GI Joe.
Yep.
Which is a shame, but hold on a second. Sean Henry saying, "I work at Kmart. I can check them out. Check those figures out." What figures are you talking about, Sean?
I think he's talking about like True Heroes. It may not necessarily.
Oh, True Heroes.
It's probably like some chat mail line or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That. Yeah.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True. So yeah. Okay. What else? As far as vintage. Let's go vintage now. We'll go vintage GI Joe. As far as vintage, with the, did you watch any of the Deke series or the Dick series?
No, unfortunately.
Fortunate for yourself, you did not watch that. Good. Okay, there goes that. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. The whole, I was not feeling any of that. I mean, I guess as a kid, there was a couple that stood out to me, like Rock and Roll version 2 with the big miniguns, or the dueling miniguns, which I thought was pretty cool. Because G.I. Joe is supposed to be that kind of sci-fi modern mix. But I mean, there were some characters that stood out. I wasn't really feeling what they did with Low Light down the line because he started looking stranger and stranger. They started making him look crazy with the what was it? I think they changed him having blonde hair at one, or from blonde hair to he was brunette, and then he had a beard, and then I was like, what's going on? This guy having a midlife crisis or something? He's dyeing his hair. But that's a good thing then that you didn't watch the Deke series, but you probably know of it. And
yeah.
But A Real American Hero, I'm sure you watched Real American Hero.
So, I know about the PSAs.
Okay, all right. Oh, well, pork chop sandwiches then.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man, those have not stood the test of time at all.
So what else? I mean, what else fancies your boat?
We can talk about Marauders a little bit.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's do that.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I can definitely get my 2 cents on it.
Okay, go ahead. Shoot.
Well, again, I don't know much about Marauders, but I think in a past podcast I said that I don't know what's been stopping me from buying some Marauder stuff, but I think I do, and I think it's just because of the overwhelming amount of stuff they have. I mean, where do you start with all that stuff? I mean, do you want to buy weapons, or do you want to build your own figure? Because I spent a good amount of time just going through all their weapons on their website. I mean, they have an AA-12, which looks really sweet. Or do I want to get the minigun? Because I've been planning to convert that U-53 into just a straight-up Pavlo. So we're going to need some miniguns for that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And of course, I saw all the new stuff they have. Really psyched for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Kickstarter ends soon. And I mean, I'll plug them really quick because I think that it's a good line to back. I mean, if you're going to back a line and you're a Joe fan and you haven't backed Marauders yet, like you need to get on that.
Definitely.
Because I mean, even if you don't want to do the Kickstarter, you don't have to do that. I'm not saying you have to do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But give it a look and see if something tickles your fancy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Well, there's 4 days left to go, and they're at 132,905, and I mean they're offering fully articulated 3 3/4-inch figure, 1/18 scale dogs, canine.
Yeah, I'm really psyched for those. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a photo right now with a Marauder holding up a bone and the dog's jumping on him. It's hilarious. But I mean, they're going to come with like tack vests and goggles and like they look amazing.
It's an insane amount of customization.
Exactly. And that's the best thing about them is that a lot of the figures are modular. So you can choose if you want your own character as yourself as a G.I. Joe, you could do that. If you want, just to create a new character on your own, if you want to build new G.I. Joe characters or current G.I. Joe characters, you can do that with Marauders. And I posted this on my Facebook page, and I said, if you haven't tried out Marauders, jump on it because it's the G.I. Joe line that's not the G.I. Joe line. It's the G.I. Joe line that we all want, but it's not the G.I. Joe line, basically. And then I said, you know what I mean? Hasbro has turned their backs on us collectors for the next 2 years, and this is Marauders' opportunity to jump in. This is us collectors' opportunity to jump on something better, because what they give us, the product that they give us, is 10 times better than what we've gotten from Hasbro.
And you know what? If Marauders starts releasing vehicles,
yes, it's a wrap.
Bye bye Hasbro.
Bye Hasbro, you're done. And they're gonna turn a huge profit if they start doing vehicles. And I think that might be the next route. You know what I mean? Especially if they do a Kickstarter, like I'll back that.
Yeah, I would definitely back that.
I will be all over that, especially if some of the vehicles are modular. Could you imagine?
Oh, yeah.
Mixing and matching vehicle parts?
It's
Yeah, I'm all about that. Sign me right up.
Yep.
But we're getting exosuits. Like, they're starting to give us more variety. They started off, and we kind of, we started off at like a base model. Like, you go to like a car dealership, and you're like, well, I don't have that much money, but I can afford the base model. So you start off with that, right? And now we're getting into the luxury sedan styles. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Next is going to be the Porsches, and then we'll get into the Lamborghinis down the road. You know what I mean? We're not there yet. We're getting there, but we're starting to see like this. These exosuits are going to come with jetpacks, grenade launchers, missile launchers, blades, a lot of blunt weapons, shields, machine gun attachments. Like, when I'll just bring up the photos. What the hell am I even doing? I'll just do that. But I mean, I'll sit here, and I am a big advocate for them. And I actually had a chance to meet some of the team members from Marauders at the Columbus Toy Show, and they're awesome guys. I mean, they're just like you and I. They're just, they're trying to give people the product that they want. The product that G.I. Joe should be is what they're giving us. And I just want to put out more awareness of this. And it's modern stuff. Like, it's not just 25th anniversary, blah, 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 same old shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because a lot of people get stuck on, I feel like, the same old shit with G.I. Joe. It's just like, well, if it's not 25th anniversary, I don't care. Well, guess what? Those figures kind of suck. Have you seen their hands? They suck. Have you seen their elbow joints? They're terrible.
Yeah, I'll just take this time to say just how much of a pile of garbage the 50th anniversary.
Oh my God!
It was
some of the worst crap.
It was shameful.
Some of the worst quality control I've ever seen is in the 50th anniversary. But here we go. Here it is. Here's the Marauders, and this is the photo I was talking about. Love it. But yeah, I mean, this dog is fully articulated. It's got swivels here, swivels here, swivels here, hinge joints also where the swivels are, this swivel head, articulated jaw, swivel neck, another swivel here in the upper, in the head joint. I mean, this dog's going to be able to do whatever you want. The tail is also articulated. And I think that if this is successful, that we might get more variety down the line.
It's gorgeous.
I mean, look at this, all geared up. All geared up. Look at that.
Man.
It's fantastic. Comes with a muzzle. You can get a muzzle, a little handle right there.
Yeah, I thought Hans from that Elite Force 5-pack was amazing, but no.
So did I. I got that 5-pack too. But
I love how much expression they have.
Yeah, it doesn't that dog doesn't hold a candle to this. I mean, we have got swappable heads here.
That's amazing. It looks they look a little bit big, but definitely better than what we've had in the past.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can imagine this is a wolf. It doesn't even need to be a husky. It should just be a friggin' wolf, because wolves are huge. You know? It does look a little bit on the bigger side, but if you're going to have a dog that's fully articulated, he might have to be a little bit larger. Because you've got to justify the room. I mean, if he's too small, you can't get this vest on him. You can't get the range of motion that you want with a real life dog, you know. And some dogs are, I guess you could just say, you know, this is a larger
the more
dog.
I look at it, it's definitely understandable why it has to be a little bit larger.
But these exosuits are awesome. Look, I mean, just pretty much just pegs right into the holes on the side of the figure, which is fantastic. He's going to have joysticks right here. He's got a flamethrower attachment right here. He's got a missile launcher right here. Here's all the other attachments. I mean, this really is the route to go, and I'm glad we're talking about Marauders, because I mean, it looks fantastic. The only thing that this thing is missing is a little an effect, a flame effect right here, but that would be just, I mean, you could probably take some flame effects from other things, but you see ball swivel or ball joints right here that are connecting, showing that these are fully articulated arms.
Wow.
I mean, they're trying. They really are. They're trying to give you good product. I mean, we just never saw this with Hasbro. You never saw this attempt with Hasbro. Not even close. I'm sorry. Not even close.
I think the Core tried to attempt to make a exosuit, but I think it was just a piece of plastic.
Yeah, pretty much. I saw a couple of those when I was at Toys R Us, and oh no, I had a Walmart. I mean, not Toys R Us, but was it True Heroes has their own exosuits too.
Yeah, at least they're trying. It's more than what Hasbro's doing.
Exactly. I mean, I could make my own line of figures, and I could come out with one figure, and I would do more than Hasbro's doing for the next 2 years. But here we have the contract ops, and just recently they released a notice, and I put it on my Facebook page for everyone to check out. That they're not only going to do just kind of like your favela looking contract ops, stuff like that, but they're also going to do suited bodies as well if they reach the proper goal. I think you got to reach around 150,000 to unlock that, which I'll show you in a second. But we've got new weapons here as well for 1/18 scale.
Oh, I love that Tavor assault rifle.
Yep. I want this L96 with a passion. But, I mean, we've got new weapons here that we just didn't simply have before. So, I mean, there's...
And detachable magazines to boot.
Look, compound bow and arrow. So, we're getting more stuff. And now they're doing... they're also going to be doing 6-inch scale stuff, too, for the 6-inch people. Collectors, I mean, but they're going to give us obviously different paint decos here. There's going to be a green suit, a black suit. I think they might do a blue one, but I'm not 100% sure. Those are pretty much the same detachments. These are pretty much some of the levels that we're unlocking that have been unlocked. So this is a stretch goal. This has been unlocked. This is a stretch goal. This has been unlocked. There's a new, so we got the Terra Ops, pretty much all brown females. We've got the basically your pilots. We've got Tech Ops, pretty much all gray and black, which is good for the females. I'm not sure why we didn't get that with the first installment, but now we have it. The white exosuit. So you've got variety here with your exosuits. It's not just a one color, one trick pony. We've also unlocked the black version of the K9, so you get different colors. So you're not just stuck with one color dog. We've also unlocked this little setup where you unlock bandanas, removable bandanas too, handcuffs, some swords. This is really cool. The electronic tracker, very similar, very reminiscent to Aliens. And then we have a military headdress or hat dress, excuse me. Basically, the formal look for. We also have some different hands, some flat hands for saluting, some fist hands, which is cool. So that's been unlocked. And this is, I think this is what I was talking about. Are these the suited ones, I believe? Oh, they're also going to come out with sunglasses and a couple new head sculpts as well. So that's pretty cool. We're also getting some more knife sheaths, excuse me. So that's nice.
Oh man, it's just making my mouth water.
I know. I mean, look. I mean, we're getting a lot more variety because this line has been doing well. I mean, they've been selling like hotcakes on their website. So, and if you don't want to pay the absorbent amount of money for Lifeline, you can build your own Lifeline now.
I was gonna say, it looks like Lifeline.
Exactly. You can essentially build a lifeline that's probably better than the frickin', the 30th anniversary one. We've also got this all white look for the Ghost Ops for the females. We've got some more variety here. I believe this was just unlocked today, the Ghost Ops. And then we hit 100. If they hit 140, there's only 4 days left. Hopefully, I really want this gray version.
Love the gray version of the dog. Looks like
me too. Exactly. This I think is key to unlocking. And there's the female version. That would be the next one at what was it? No. Oh wait. For reaching 650 backers. So even if they just reach the certain amount of backers, they'll unlock that. That's pretty cool. I like that they did that. But we're getting some more BDUs. Now here's the suited bodies that they just announced. This is really cool. Also, if you can take the jacket off and you can put a rolled up sleeve dress shirt with a tack vest over it, kind of very FBI looking, which I think is, or Secret Service, or however you'd like to go.
Yeah, if you want to make Makarov from MW2.
Yeah, or if you wanted to make a Hitman, Hitman custom, you could go that route as well with the suited body. But it's got to be unlocked at 172,000. We only got 4 days left. So, I mean, I don't know if this is going to happen, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But this would be a big coup, I think. He also come with dress shoes as well. So, and the cool thing is that you can mix and match this with your other figures. If you want to, make a specific character look different, you could do that. But yeah, I mean, these are all the different things that they're planning on giving us if they get unlocked. Some, like I said, I showed you, have been unlocked. But I mean, look at this. I mean, we're getting
love that one.
That's the Husky. Yeah. So I could see down the line them giving us different head sculpts for the dogs too. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of quality here. There's definitely a lot of quality.
It's amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've made my own series, my own YouTube series, just based off Marauders. You know what I mean? Like I've created my own team, and so is Strident has pretty much done that as well. I mean, he kind of gave me the swift kick in the ass that I needed to get motivated with Fenris Company. But yeah, I mean, I would highly recommend to anyone that they jump on Marauders. You got 4 days left to save up some money, and maybe by Friday you get your paycheck. Just even if you want to just pick up one figure, you could do that. So, and if anyone has any questions about how to join the Kickstarter, if they've never done it before, they're kind of weary about it, I would vouch for Marauders. They are legit. You're not going to get screwed out of your money. You're going to get your product. I know it's a little bit of a wait. I think it's a little bit less than a year. You have to wait for the figure to come out. But I've done multiple Kickstarters, and I've never had an issue with Mythic Legions nor Marauders. So those two I vouch for.
So I'm relatively new to Marauders. So do you get how am I going to word this? Do you get everything when you buy it? Does that explain? Like all the accessories. I mean, or do you have to buy the accessories separately? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What you get? Okay, I'll just bring this back up. 1 second.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. No, please ask away. I'm more than happy to. The more help, the merrier is the way I see it.
I've been seeing some reviews of Marauders online, and by the looks of it, they get like all the accessories and armor separately. Is that how it works?
Okay, if you go like the way this works, you can go on. It's just MarauderInc.com, and you can place an order right now, and they have stuff in stock. But the thing is you kind of have to build it. They do have. Let's just go to weapons, accessories, gear. Oh, no, wait. Weapons and armament. There we go. You can go, they have these packs where you can pick 10 weapons for $8, and here's one or 21 weapons for $13, and you pretty much get this whole set right here. Now, if you want a figure, this is the best part why I like Marauders so much. I have spent countless hours, and that's not a bad thing, just building characters on here, thinking of new characters, how to mix and match, how to make someone look a little bit different from the last guy that I got. And you can, I mean, it pretty much breaks it down to you have to piece them together. That's the thing. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. They can start you off from a base. Basically, where are we? Here we go. If you want, you can start off like this. You can purchase this the way it is, fully geared up. It is $30 though. That's asking a lot, but this is everything it comes with, geared up. They were doing this the same thing at the toy show, but I think it might have been a promotional thing where I picked up 2 of them and they were only $20 each. But that might have just been the show promotional thing. But if you don't want to go that route and you don't want to spend $30, you don't have to. You can still get a figure for well under $20 and be happy with it, I think. You could start off like this, $12, $13, and you get the figure. This is pretty much what you get. And then you can add to it. Like if you want to pick up one weapon to come with them, you can break it down, go right to assault rifles. I want this ARC. So you just add it to your cart, blah, blah, blah. It comes with this attachment, these attachments right here, and boom, there you go. Now you have a figure, you have his assault rifle. If you want him to come with, let's just see. If you want him to come with a sidearm, you just simply go to pistols, boom. I'll take the 357 Magnum, and you just hit add to cart, blah, blah, blah. And you're building your character, basically. Long story short. If you want him to have a different head, because they have a plethora of different heads, let's just go to male heads, and then we'll go to, he's got goatee, balaclava. Basically, let's just go to unmasked heads, and you can see blonde, brunette, dark skin, light skin, Latino. There's a plethora of different, you want curly hair. I mean, they try to give you more variety, and I hope, with this Kickstarter, we're getting more different head sculpts too. But you can build upon it. It's a nice way to kind of use your imagination, use your imagination and build something. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get into Marauders soon.
Yeah, and I can't wait. I think what they're going to do next, they're going to do World War II stuff after this. And then I think they're going to do, what I'm assuming is, since we're getting some of these, what I'm really excited to do is, I want General Flag. We never got that figure. I think we got one, which was an O-ring style one, which I didn't really care for. He's kind of like bloated and like he looks kind of like jacked up or bloated. I don't know which one of the two. But since we're getting these hats, the dress hats that I showed you, I would like a nice, and we're getting suited bodies too. I'd like a nice dress suited body, a military dress suited body. And we could build General Flag, and if you want a military suited gung ho, you could go that route. But they also have other accessories here. They have hydration packs that I've put on a couple figures, like Dusty, my custom Dusty. They have rifle sheaths. So if you want to have a sniper with a rifle sheath, they have backpacks where you can put in. What I usually use the backpacks for, I usually put in C-clips, these little clips. Where are they? I think they're under accessories. they're somewhere around here, but there are these little clips, and they clip right into the backpack, and they basically can hold your. Hold on, sorry. They can basically hold your rifles on your backpack, so it looks like they're attached to your backpack.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's a method to every bit of madness that they've thought of with Marauders, and that's what I think one of the best parts is about them.
So on average, each figure would cost like $30 to assemble, or
if you want to have one fully decked out, I mean, okay. I put in multiple orders, and I have 16 of them, 16 figures. I'm not going to lie. Like I've spent quite a bit. I mean, that's a lot of figures that are fully decked out, but there's also a span of, 2 years. So, if you want a fully decked out Marauder figure, the way you want it to look, however load out you look, I mean, it really depends. It comes down to personal preference. It comes down to how do I want this character to look? I don't care about sidearms. I don't care about holsters or sheaths. I don't care about knives. Then it's going to be a lot cheaper. But your base figure is going to be around $11.99. I think that's without the head included. Your base figure, just the figure itself with no head, is $11.99, and then with a head, it's around $13, I think. But a lot of the accessories, a lot of the add-ons they're not too bad. They're usually around 99 cents, maybe $1.29, something like that, which isn't too bad. I mean, if you're building, a character that's, significant to you, then, I don't think $20 is that much, really, when it's better than this.
Right.
But
go ahead.
Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Oh, sorry.
I've been rambling too long.
That's all right. Because with me, if I'm all about having a utilitarian look. So if I'm gonna buy from Marauders, it's not the figure is not gonna have like its own identity. It's not gonna be like an updated version of a Joe figure. It's just gonna be like a foot soldier who's meant for fighting. So if I were to buy from Marauders, it's probably gonna primarily be for army building.
Okay. Yeah, you could totally army build. Sure.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get into Marauders very soon. Yeah. I don't know.
Like I said, you can keep them simplistic. It doesn't have to be this like decked out. Like I got a helmet, and the helmet has an attachment on the helmet, and the attachment has an attachment on the attachment. It doesn't have to be like this huge thing. If you just want to army build, you can do that in a cheap way.
Yep.
You could spend $20, $30 and get 3 figures. If you want to do that.
Yeah, I might have to go that route, and eventually I'll probably build up on them.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, you compare Marauders to any of the other Kickstarters, and it beats them price-wise. It really does, up and down the board. It beats Mythic Legions, and I collect Mythic Legions, and those prices are they're a little bit high. I mean, but I mean, you look at what was it? The Foosh did those ninjas, which I didn't really care for. Those are like crazy priced. What was it? I was looking at one that were like $45 for a head, some accessories, and a couple hands. And I'm like, what? So, I mean, Marauders, I think, has decent prices. And it is a specialty item. Don't forget that, too. I mean, this was based off a Kickstarter. It's not a big company making it. These are just a bunch of guys got together. They probably put their money together to make these figures. So, but yeah, I fully back Marauders and what they're doing. I think they're doing what Hasbro should have done years ago with what G.I. Joe is. So,
yep, definitely agree with that. I'm definitely gonna have to look into those weapons packs, because I was seeing the prices on those, like that weapon bundle. $4 for all those weapons. That's a steal.
Yeah, it's not it's not asking much, really. I mean, and you're getting a large amount. You're getting a good amount of weapons, and even if you buy them separately, you're still not spending that much more. I mean, you might be spending a couple cents more. Also, their shipping is dirt cheap because we're talking 1/18 scale, which is, we all know, us 1/18 scale collectors, we all know that shipping is going to be low on action figures because they don't weigh much. I think it's like what? I think it's like $2 for shipping every time I've paid. So it's not like you have to pay a ton amount, and everything ships quick too. I've never gotten a shipment late, and I've never really had a problem. I think they messed up one of my orders, but then I've emailed them right away, and they actually sent me some free stuff, like and apologizing for, oh my God, we're so sorry. And I'm like, guys, it's okay, just it's all right, no big deal.
Yep. They must really love their fans. I mean.
Yeah, I mean they have a strong following, and I want that following to get bigger, and I want this to strive, because fuck Hasbro right now when it comes to them. And the cool thing is that they fit right in. If you want the realism and you want that realistic modern look, you can go that route. You can go crazy. You can hit the friggin' stratosphere with that stuff with BBI and Chatmay and Leonard. Like you can definitely go that route. So
yeah, I'm definitely working on some custom vehicles because I've been thinking about making some Marauder figures. So I'm tailoring some vehicles for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to see that. That's gonna be cool. You're gonna have to do a video about that.
Definitely. I'm definitely gonna have to make some pilots because I have an Apache waiting for them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Well, I don't want to keep you too late. I'm not sure if you have to do something.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. Good. Oh, you're good to go. All right. Well, we could keep talking if you want to keep talking.
Sure.
All right. All right. Why don't we talk about? Okay, as far as we'll keep flip flopping. We'll go back to Star Wars for a little bit. What's the line that you mostly focused on as far as?
I'm sort of all over the place. I really like the vintage collection. I like what they put out. I like what they did with the Y-wing, because with the original Y-wing, if it had that droid that was actually molded into it, I did not like that. And
yeah, I didn't like that either.
I'm happy that they released a newer version that's remolded without the droid. So that was pretty spectacular. So yeah. One thing I really wanted was the original AT-AT, which I think was from the Legacy collection. The Legacy collection I really like.
Is that the one that's the one with the adjustable head, right? With the handle? Yep, I just got that one about a year ago. It took me that long to get it.
Awesome. Definitely do a review on that.
Yeah, I definitely need to. It's kind of sitting in a Hoth display in my room right now. But yeah, that's definitely an awesome vehicle. It's got like some vehicles that, like, this is why it's like Hasbro is both frustrating and you love it at the same time. It's like an abusive relationship, you know. It's like you don't want to hate it, but at the same time they give you cool stuff, you know. It's like when they're all about something, they go off the wall. They'll give you whatever you want, but as soon as something like dwindles, they're like, oh, we're done with that now. We're not giving any of that anymore. You'll have to go to a different teat if you want something. But yeah, I mean they've given us so much as far as a lot of gems in the 30th anniversary line. I'd say as far as vehicles go. Some re-releases that I wasn't too big of a fan of, especially the A-Wing. I mean, that was pretty much just Power of the Force redecoed.
Yeah.
And that for some reason that pack goes for like $99 to $120. It's insane for an A-Wing that was in Power of the Force. So I was like, nah, I think I'm good. I'll just go Power of the Force and spend $24 instead. Thank you very much. Call it a day. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that came from the 30th anniversary line. I miss out on a lot of the vintage stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that stuff at the time, even at the time, was kind of pricey, a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I recently got the X-Wing for a more reasonable price than it was at retail. It was like what, $69 at retail?
Yeah. What the hell?
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah.
For 3 and 3, let's just say this: 3 3/4 inch or 1/18 scale vehicles should be $30.
Right.
25 to 30, I'd say.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that ATST for the Black Series, I'm not paying $54 for it. I'm sorry. I got it on eBay for $20. It's like, no, I'm not paying that much.
Yeah, some people are selling it on eBay for $70. I'm like, you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. Something that always eluded me was the ATTE.
Is it? Yeah, I know what that. Yeah,
it's the Clone Trooper big,
right.
basically the predecessor to the AT-AT.
It's basically a big beetle-looking thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. I freaking love that thing. It's. So let me ask you this: have you ever watched the Clone Wars animated show?
Which one? There was actually 2 of them, one in 2003 and one in 2008, which was CGI.
Oh, well, the CGI, the one that spawned the movie first. There was like a movie and then the series after that.
Right. I've seen clips of it, but I mostly just watched the 2003 series. That's the
2003 series. Yeah, that's a good series too. I definitely liked that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, you should definitely check out the Clone Wars. I mean, it's really good. The stuff that they do with Maul alone in that is fantastic. But I don't want to give spoilers if there's a chance that you'll watch it.
Sounds good.
I doubt you watched Rebels then, right?
Yeah, I'm not really into not really into the recent Star Wars cartoons.
Okay, all right. What do you think? What do you think of The Force Awakens?
Force Awakens. I thought it was pretty good considering how sequels go. Kylo Ren kind of came off as a whiny little bitch. Kind of. He's kind of like a weeaboo for Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like a Darth Vader fanboy who dresses up like him. That's the impression that I got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I get some of that, but to me, it just seems like. I mean, yeah, no, I get like he's kind of like it's like his idol,
right?
You know what I mean, like when you're a kid, but he's not. I mean, he's technically I don't know how old is Kylo Ren supposed to be? 20.
It may have been established in the movie, but it's been so long.
Okay.
When that movie came out, 2015. It's been 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Like I get like if you're a kid and you like look up to someone, you're like, oh God, I want to be just like him because I look up to him and I believe his beliefs and blah blah blah. I'm into the same things that he's into, so I get the kind of the aspect that he looks up to Vader,
right?
Especially now that he's fallen to the dark side. But it also seems like he didn't quite understand what happened with Vader, because Vader may have fallen to the dark side, but he did not end in the dark side. He turned back to the light, and at the end of Return of the Jedi. I feel like maybe he doesn't know the whole story.
Right.
Even being trained by Luke, you think Luke would have told him that?
Right. And I was gonna say, do most of the characters know what happened at the very end when Darth Vader died?
Yeah.
Does he know? Did they know what happened to Darth Vader? Did Luke tell them that? I mean,
there's so many questions coming out of and I feel like a lot of The Force Awakens. I feel like the movie should have been longer because it didn't give you much of anything. I mean, at least when you go back and you watch A New Hope, at least they gave you something. They were giving you, they didn't give you who Luke's father was, but there was the point behind that. They didn't give you anything in The Force Awakens. They were like, Rey? No, she doesn't have a last name. we're not going to talk about that. Let's move on to the next scene. You know what I mean? Like there was none of that. There's nothing about Finn. We don't know much about Poe Dameron besides he's a good pilot and that he's a resistance leader. We don't know pretty much about anything about anybody because I spent so much time reminiscing of Leia and Han and Chewie that I feel like we didn't get what we were supposed to get with that. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Like I just feel like some stuff was rushed with that movie.
Right. I definitely see what you're saying now that you say it. Looking back on it now.
Yeah, and I get that they wanted some mystery there. I get that they're going a different route and it's Disney and stuff like that, but I feel like it's kind of a lack of storytelling on their part because at least with Lucas, he would try different things. And for this movie, I feel like it didn't try anything different. It went the safe, boring route.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that The Force Awakens is a bad film, but it's not good.
Right. It leaves more to be desired.
It's kind of in that middle ground. You know what I mean?
Right.
And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, the movie was great. And then when I thought about it, after a couple of days, I let it marinate, and I was like, wasn't that good.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But what'd you think about Rogue One?
Rogue One? Oh, man, it has been long. It's been a long time. I thought it was okay. It filled in a lot of blanks. I mean, the way it tied in with the original story, just showing what happened before all the crap went down with the Empire. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like your typical prequel.
Yeah.
With filling in the gaps, it's kind of like the quasi prequel in a way. Not a prequel, but kind of a prequel because you don't know what happens in between that, but you kind of know how it ends in the end. They're all going to die and it's all going to end tragically, which is I think a good thing because it's almost like too much happiness in the Star Wars world,
right?
To a certain extent. Star Wars has always been kind of lighthearted, and I feel like in that universe things wouldn't always be so lighthearted. It would be doldrums, kind of depressing a little bit because things go bad a lot more than it goes good. Seems like with planets blowing up and I mean, we think of 9/11 as a huge tragedy. Think about if 7 planets were just destroyed. You know what I mean? Like you don't really get the amount of tragedy that happens upon people's shoulders emotionally from masses upon masses of people, planets dying, people.
Right.
I mean, good God, how many people died? Alderaan being blown up in the original trilogy, and then 3 or 4 planets in The Force Awakens, and holy Toledo,
Space opera. There's got to be some drama.
Yeah, of course. Yep. But it was nice to see a little bit more darker tones in this. But at the same token, it kind of took away from the character development, I think, in the film. I couldn't really. I don't know. Cassian seemed like he was flip-flopping from this existential good guy to, I mean, he killed one of his own spies in the beginning, right off the bat. So you're kind of like, wow, this guy's credibility is garbage as far as trusting him. But he finds a conscience in the middle of the film, which I thought was convenient. But, it was okay. A lot of people ride the hype of that end scene with Vader, which was cool, but that's nothing that we haven't seen in comics as far as Vader destroying people, you know, the comics or video games for that matter. But what else? What else would you like to?
What else can we shoot the shit on?
You know what? I'll ask chat. Let me catch up with chat because they've been See if they have any questions.
Yeah.
Chat, do you have questions? Questions? Ask away, please. How about Acid Rain figures? Says Sean Henry. This was a while ago. Sorry about that, Sean.
Yeah. What is Acid Rain? Is it like
It's like a. It's its own universe, obviously, but it's kind of like I don't know. I guess if you, they come off kind of anime-ish to me.
Right. I was
the
gonna
characers.
Say.
Like a dirty, like I think of like Liquid Television when I think of. Remember Liquid Television on MTV?
I don't. It's like I grew up in the generation where MTV was no longer MTV.
Okay. Well, back in the what was it, the early to mid '90s, there was this show called Liquid Television, and there was a show called Eon Flux and Max, and they had all of these deranged cartoon characters, and it's something I'd never seen before because I'm used to like Tom and Jerry and Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. So when I saw that, it kind of changed a lot for me as far as animation and anime in general. And I'm not like the biggest anime fan, but that's what these figures kind of come off as, that kind of style. I mean, they're cool in a way. I only have one of them, and it's the sniper. I think his name's, I can't remember. It's not Buck. It's something else. I can't remember. But I have the sniper, and I mean the figures are cool in their own route. That they have certain range of motion and articulation that other figures don't have. So if you do end up buying the sniper like I have, you can get him in a prone position with his head looking down the sights, laying back, which you can't get with Joes, or even Marauders can't do it yet. But they can do that. They have different points of articulation that some figures just don't have. But I mean, you really kind of have to like that style, that look for them.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of an acquired taste, exactly.
One thing I always see is people making customs for Acid Rain. So just based on the customs, it seems like sort of this post-apocalyptic type thing. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Yeah. It's kind of like a world that's post-apocalyptic, and it seems like some sort of. I mean, I don't know any of the story of it, so let me know in chat if I'm botching this. But I'm assuming that it's some sort of government agencies, or kind of, because all the figures are kind of dirtied up. You notice that? Yeah, they kind of have this like dry brushing that makes them look dirty, grimy, and like they're in a world that's kind of like crappy, But I mean, they look cool. The vehicles are really nice, but
it's sort of like G.I. Joe versus sort of like G.I. Joe meets Transformers. They transform into mech things.
Yeah,
it looks cool, but just not into it.
Yeah, I'm not that into it. Like I said, I got one of the figures to try it out and see what it's all about, and I like it in a sense, but I also think that the money's too high,
right,
for those. That's a line that if you are only into that, that's probably for you. But if you're into other things like I am, I can't justify spending that amount of money for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I'd rather spend them on figures that I missed out on, or Marauders figures, or whatever. But that was Sean Henry's question. Acid. Okay, so David here says Acid Rain is supposed to be set in the world where World War II never ended, and has produced a post-apocalyptic world. Oh, so that's pretty much what we thought, but not just World War II based. But it makes sense the way they look, though.
It definitely sounds interesting.
It does. It definitely does. I wouldn't mind, if they came out with if they ever end up coming out with a comic or something, I wouldn't mind reading up on it a little bit. Let's see. Oh, Alex Starr says, by the way, Jana Solo Black Series is up for pre-order on GameStop. I'm going to wait on that one. I'm not too in a rush to pick her up, because, and this is the problem, the major problem I have with that fan choice figure. While it's cool that we're getting EU characters, and I hope we get Darth Malgus down the line, he's one of my favorite EU characters, and I'm glad we got Revan, but when I'm displaying them, where the hell are they going to go? There's only Revan, really, and now we have Jaina Solo. I mean, there's 2 figures out of the EU out of how many that are canon now. So I have a shelf full of two figures. I don't know. It's just like, while it's cool that we're getting those characters and it's nice, I feel like General Grievous should have came out first, or we should have got Tarkin before we get her. I know we're getting Tarkin, but we still don't have Grievous, and I would rather have a Grievous over her. I don't know. Wouldn't that be a cooler figure to own?
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't know. I think it would be pretty dope to have a General Grievous with 4 lightsabers and spinning, be able to spin them. But yeah, I don't think we have any more questions. I think that's. There's one from Mario that says, never collected G.I. Joe, but had some when I was young. Always been interested in getting G.I. Joe. Just picked up G.I. Joe Retaliation Snake Eyes. I think it sucks. Hasbro's nothing with Joe's.
Yeah, in retrospect, the Retaliation line was
not very good.
Yeah, garbage.
I mean, some of the figures looked cool, but once you started playing with them, you realize how hindered they were. Yeah. The majority of those figures, whether it's what's a good example here? I would say Ultimate Duke. You can't get him to look down the sights. And I noticed that with a lot of Retaliation figures. Some of them are 5 points of articulation.
Right.
Like, what the hell is that?
What is up with that?
That's crap. Once that happened, I was like, I'm done. I'm done with that. I'm good. I think, what was it? I have 2 Retaliation vehicles, and one was just so cheap, and I just recently got it, was the Hiss tank.
Mm-hmm.
And I only used that as Cobra Commander's Hiss tank. And I threw the figure right in the garbage. I could care less about 5 points of articulation. But the other one that I have is the Tomahawk that was re-released as the.
Right, that's the only one I like.
Yeah,
that was the highlight of the line. Exactly.
That was the vehicle to get. If you were to get one vehicle out of that line, that's the one to get. Mm. And I think it's worth what? I think it's worth around the $60, $50-$60 range. Mm-hmm. If you were to get one. I know they go for around that on the secondary markets, but
right.
I think when they came out, it was only like $30, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 35, 34. In my area.
Yeah, that's a reasonable price that I think those vehicles should go for. But yeah, that Retaliation line wasn't. I don't know. Yeah. Some people love it, and I'm like, to each their own. But I don't know. Yeah. It's not for me. No, thank you. I didn't like the movie, and I certainly didn't like the line. So
yeah.
Have you seen Rise of Cobra?
Yep.
What did you think of the Rise of Cobra line? Did you collect any of those?
I have the what is it? Why does the name skip me right now? The one that's based on the SR-71, or is it the Nighthawk?
Oh, the Night Raven.
Night Raven. I have the Night Raven.
That's a good. That's a good vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I think that's the only one I have. I've been meaning to get the. I've been meaning to get the Dragonhawk. Let's see. I think that's about it.
Yeah, the you know what? I would almost pass on the which one's the Dragonhawk? I'm confused. Forgetting everything.
It's a really small attack helicopter.
Oh, it's the VTOL, right?
Let's see. I think that's the Ghost Hawk or something.
Oh, okay. The Dragonhawk. Yeah, it's the Apache. Okay.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, that's still one I'd like to get. I just kind of wish it was a two-seater. It's like it's a strange size for the cockpit, at least.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it would fit two, but it only fits one.
Right.
It kind of looks like it's undersized, like you were referring to earlier. Like GI Joe's kind of like undersized sometimes. It looks like it's a little bit undersized.
Yeah, and on the box, it's really deceiving. On the back of the box, it shows it like in proper scale.
Yeah, it shows it like huge, like you would expect. Yeah.
It's like this. You take it out of the box. It's this small little thing that fits in the palm of your hand.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad vehicle.
It looks nice. I just wish it was a little bit bigger.
Just a little bit larger. Exactly. Yep. I'm the same way with the what was the Cobra vehicle? I have it in the movie. Damn it.
The
gunship, the Cobra gunship.
Right.
I'm the same way with that Cobra gunship because in the movie it's big, mm-hmm. and it there's multiple people that repel from that. So mm-hmm. I think the figure or the vehicle itself only holds like two people in mm-hmm. the middle portion of it, and then there's room for one pilot. So three people, which isn't the worst, but in the movie, that's a large ship or a large gunship. But yeah, just a little bit larger, and it would have been perfect.
Right.
It's just one of those cases. And then you look back at the old Firefly, or not Firefly, what's wrong with me right now? Oh my
Tomahawk?
God. The old, not the Tomahawk, what was Wild Bill's helicopter?
Dragonfly.
The Dragonfly. Yeah. You look at the old Dragonfly, and that housed two figures, and now in the modern days, we back down to one. Huh?
Right. It's like there's a constant downgrading of vehicles.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they make them smaller as the years go by.
Right.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. That and play sets. Like, how much do you miss play sets? Those. Are you big on play sets or no?
Not really. More on vehicles.
More on vehicles. Okay.
Yeah, I think they would be nice, but I'm just haven't collected too many of them. Mm-hmm. It's not that I'm not into them. It's just just haven't collected too many of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially for the prices that they warrant. I mean, I just recently got it. It took me over 30 years to get a Terradrome. Mm-hmm. So that puts things in perspective right there for the prices that they go for. And I got my Terradrome for, what was it, $2 something, I think.
Yeah.
So,
do you have a USS Flag?
No, I don't.
By the way things are going and how much they're selling for, I'm never going to get a USS Flag. Ever.
Yeah, no. I mean, you gotta pony up at least $700 to $1,000 to get one.
Right.
That's crazy.
And I think
they should be around $300.
Right. That would definitely be more reasonable. Yeah, and as Strident said, at the end of the day, what it is just a giant table.
Exactly. You know what? I was just talking, and I'm glad you brought this up because I was just talking to him about this, and I was like, he's like, so what are you going to get a flag, aren't you? And he's like, I know you're going to get a flag. You're going to pay the price. And I'm like, and I was like, you know what? If you would have asked me this a few months ago, I would have said, yeah, I probably will. And now I'm like, you know what? I'll take a fucking table and I'll mod it. And what I'll do is, what I was planning on doing was getting just the station portion where the figures go, and taking just getting a table, cutting it into the shape of the flag, and just make it larger. Because really, you just want to put your planes on it, and that's it.
That's essentially what G.I. Joe Berg did, right? Or at least to some extent.
No, they got the flag, but I think what they did was they added a layer to it.
Oh, so right. That's right.
So it can roll around. I'm talking about taking just a table and basically sculpting the table to look like the flag, but a larger portion of it, and putting it in my attic because I have the room for it. And it would cost me so much. It probably cost me $150 to do the whole thing.
Definitely seems sensible.
Yeah. I mean,
Definitely.
at this point, why spend the $700 just to say that you have it and it just falls apart on you? Because a lot of them just fall apart, and it's essentially just a table.
Yep.
So I'll just make my own flag, and it'll be better, I think. It'll be made out of wood, but I can also just get. I was actually thinking of doing like just like a wooden table, and then putting some sort of surface material over it to kind of cover that up, and then like a gray material, and then getting black sandpaper tape that you use on like skateboards and stuff like that.
Right.
Like grip tape, it's called. And using that for the runways. So this way, when the plane lands, it's got that grip to it. So it can, use your imagination, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then just putting tape for the lines. And it's just that simple. I really don't think it needs to cost that much. But I mean, you could get creative. You can make a flag any way you wanted to, if you really wanted one. But that's the thing. I think the route I'm going to go. But I would like to have one just to store my planes, because right now they're sitting on shelves.
Yeah.
I have to keep buying more and more shelves, and I'm like, why am I doing this? But I was also thinking about doing like maybe a second story storage for helicopters and stuff like that, kind of like what Joburg did a little bit, but making it a thicker layer, because I mean the flag it's an aircraft carrier. Those things are huge, and they can house a lot of vehicles. So but yeah, I'm gonna pass on the flag, on the original flag.
Understandable.
Yeah, it's crazy how much that stuff goes for. I think the one thing that I might spend the money on is the Defiant.
I've been looking into that.
The Defiant, I think, if you spend around anywhere from, I would say the most I'd spend on a Defiant is probably around $600-700. That's a lot to warrant. I mean, that's a lot of money, but it is still a quality playset. It's got multi-purposes. It's got 3 different dimensions of to a playset. You can't do. I mean, I have the Terradrome. It's great, but it doesn't have that many multi-purposes like the Defiant does. But if you just want to use it vehicle mode, you could use that. If you want to have it launching, you could do that. If you wanted to use I'll just call it the launching bunker. I don't know what the hell the technical term for it is, but if you want to use that as like a headquarters, you could use that, I think. I've seen people actually mod it into turning that into specifically a headquarters, because that's all they could find was the housing unit.
In fact, the Defiant was sold on its own, right? At one point? Yeah.
It was, I think, around the same price as the flag. I think it was around $99.99 when it came out originally in the 80s. And then, now it's, if you find one for a good price, you then have to worry about what's broken, because the gantry pieces are always usually broken on it. Sometimes I'm seeing the cranks are broken. There's a lot of the guns, the little red guns, are usually missing on them.
But wasn't the shuttle portion sold separately at one point?
There was one shuttle. It was called the Crusader shuttle.
The Crusader. That's right.
Yeah. That was sold separately. Those float around. I see them go for weird prices sometimes. Obviously, in package, it's going to be more expensive. I would say I've seen them in package go for around anywhere from $200 to $300. But that's mint on card. I'm not a mint on card guy. Right. If I bought one, I'd take it out of the package, and I don't give a shit how many people that would upset.
I can honestly care less about the packaging.
I don't care. I really don't care how nostalgia it is.
It's cardboard.
Nostalgic. It's cardboard. Exactly.
It's cardboard.
Cardboard is not valuable to me. So, I don't know. I see them weird prices anywhere from $100 250,
Mhm.
which I think is asking a bit much. I mean, I'd rather put that 100, 150 towards the Defiant and just get the
Right.
whole thing, you know?
Yep.
But let's see here. In the 25th anniversary Joe line, which Zartan is most sought after? That's from Wolvie Fan. The 25th anniversary line? I would say, I mean, if we're just talking Zartans, Wolvie, Zartans in general, I'd say the most sought after would probably be Pursuit of Cobra. I think that's the best Zartan you could get. But if we're talking 25th anniversary, I mean, I don't know if there's really a Zartan that's that sought after. I don't think they really go for that much. They're usually around the $10 to $15 range. So I wouldn't go crazy trying to kill yourself trying to find a Zartan. You could probably, they're pretty common.
Mhm.
Pretty much, I mean, I would like to say that anything, I'm sure you'd agree with me here, as far as 25th anniversary goes, is pretty common, you know?
Mhm. Yep.
Unless it's like a exclusive pack, like
Right.
the Terry Turner says, "Don't buy the flag, get the Defiant. It's way better." Exactly, that's what I was just saying. Yep. I actually, or he says, or the Mean Dog. I actually just recently got the Mean Dog, and that actually goes for $20 to $30, which is, I think, is more than reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of vintage? Do you have any vintage vehicles or anything like that?
I have the Mobat, which is complete. Let's see what else. I have an '83 Sky Striker, which I customized. It basically came without the parachutes, out the figures. But I honestly didn't care about that. I was going to customize it anyway. Because I absolutely don't like that color scheme. I don't like the off-white color of the Sky Striker.
Mhm.
What else? I think that's about it. I used to have a Rolling Thunder, but I gave that away. Let's see. I have the '83 APC. That's my absolute favorite.
Yep, that's one of my favorites too. I still eluding me though. Still haven't gotten one yet.
And I'm also refurbishing a Killer Whale at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice. Wow. What are you missing for it?
Basically all the stuff that, gives people a lot of shit, like all the fins.
Mhm.
Those need replacement, and it's surprisingly expensive to get like fins that aren't broken.
Yep. They go for like $20 each. It's
Mhm.
stupid. It's really stupid.
Yeah.
What was it? I recently made a horrible mistake. I bought a customizer made resins of the fins, and I bought a set, and it was like, I think it was like $20.
Yep.
But I instantly regretted it as soon as I got it, and some of them didn't the peg holes didn't match up with some of the other fins that go up and down. I basically had to glue everything, but now I do have fins on mine finally, but they're not, obviously they're not original. But I guess they do the job for now. I mean, they're kind of glued together, and I don't even want to touch them, but which bothers me in a way. But maybe one day I'll get the fins for it. But well, good luck with finding those fins, sir. If I come across any, I think I might actually have an extra fin. So if you want it, it's yours. You can have it.
I'm good, dude.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
The Hiss 2 must have is a great troop carrier. It is actually a decent. It's a good vehicle. Yeah.
Yep. I've been looking into that.
Yep. Yeah. The Hiss 2, I would say, is actually better than the direct-to-consumer line one that came out a little bit later. I like that it fits. I would say even modern figures, it fits around 4 inside the compartment, the back portion, and then the cockpit can actually fit 2 modern figures as well. So it's definitely a good underrated vehicle. But well, sir, I think I might end it here.
Already.
It's around 12, and I'm getting tired. I got to wake up early, so. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, man. We got to do this again.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're up to it.
Definitely.
Cool. Yep. And yeah, maybe next time we'll get try and get Scabcat on here, and we'll try to get Strident on here, and we'll all of us can just shoot the shit and hang out and fun times.
Yep. Sounds good.
So, awesome. So thank you so much to the Human Mechanism for joining me tonight, hanging out, and awesome guy. Go check out his channel right now. What are you doing? Why are you still watching this? Go check out his channel right now. It's a Human Mechanism, MK2, the number 2, as in Mark 2. So definitely go check him out, please. He's got a quality channel, and he knows his shit. So he is definitely a credible source. And so thank you so much, sir, for joining me. And
no problem, anytime.
Yeah, we will see you guys later.
All right.